What is going on, guys? Welcome back. Commentary for you. Two things real quick. Make sure you hit the like button, share this video. This is a damaging one in my opinion, and if you're a Madden fan, you might as well go on to another video because you're not going to hear what I have to say and you're not going to like what I have to tell you. But before this, I did kind of a 30 for 30-esque video talking about how one game that took place in this month could change Madden forever, especially with all the pending lawsuits. Obviously, happy Thanksgiving to you guys, and I want to talk about what we've been sold on next-gen consoles, this next-level Madden, how next-gen stats will affect Madden 21. They've shown the route running, and real quick, props to EA for still actually working with Brian Mazik, the guy started the Fix Madden franchise movement. EA doesn't have to work with him. They've been known to not work with people who have came out and spoke against them, so I can appreciate that they still have a relationship. They spoke to Connor Dugan, who is the creative director at Madden. So understand, this is not my opinion. This is the words of the creative director of the product, and I want you to ask yourself if this seems like it's providing a real change in Madden 21 Next Gen. This is all they're selling Next Gen, guys. The stats is what the selling point is. Next Gen stats will provide another data source to help ratings adjusters in making their weekly ratings adjustment. We will still look at our ratings process and formula as proprietary and not automated. That being said, are you sitting down? Are you ready for this? Next-gen stats will have some impact on ratings. They're selling this, they are marketing this as a completely new way to invent player movement. Yet here they are, the director of the game. Next-gen stats will have some impact on ratings. It gets worse, most significantly in making sure there's a strong correlation between the data and ratings, as both are strong contributors to the movement system, basically means players going up and down. We are looking to go deeper and exploring more here, as there are huge opportunities for a stronger relationship between our ratings and next-gen stats. Connor, my buddy, this is something you guys should have been doing years ago. I've already shown you AWS has been doing this since 2013. You're already 6 years behind on this. Why are you still trying to dig deeper and explore? You should be implementing and putting something in completely 100% at full capacity. Again, it gets worse. In order to fully realize this, we need to solve some factors such as rating players that have no next-gen stats data or missing data. Clint just told us every stadium, every player, years on years of data. Now you're coming out and saying, hey, all the data's not there, and most importantly, compared to what our ratings actually control in the game, they're not always the exact same. So again, what the community said for years, what do some of these ratings do? You can't take this next level data from the NFL and apply it to the game. You're selling us one thing and you're telling us quite a different one. Now, moving forward, it gets worse. Stunning weather detail. Mother Nature comes alive in Madden like never before. Understand this, like never before. In stunning new detail, standing water, rain-drenched sidelines, an atmosphere, enhanced weather conditions. But, again, when it comes time for him to tell you what's actually happening, to clarify, none of the previous weather effects from gameplay on Gen 4 have been removed. All of that's still there. Players slipping, quarterbacks falling down, dropped passes, kicking impact. However, are you seated again? Weather will not impact gameplay further on next-generation consoles. Are you kidding me? You just told us it would, and now the director is saying it won't. You're selling it that it will, and then he is saying, black and white, clear as day, weather will not impact gameplay further on next-generation consoles. EA, what are you doing with all the power of these new consoles other than having it eject your disc faster? It gets worse. Just like with injuries, creating moments in gameplay that could be interpreted as negative or random must be created with a high level of thought and care to protect our players' experience across all of our models. Are you absolutely kidding me, Connor? Connor, have you seen, since you're talking about a negative impact, your .02 rating? Do you think that we are stupid? You're not protecting us, okay? You're not protecting us. You're giving us a very negative experience. And while players won't see more of that in Madden NFL 21, it's firmly on our radar for the future. The EA slogan, It's never here now, but wait, there's more. EA is the king of but wait, there's more. Next year. But it gets worse. Brian hits him with the hard questions. Why has the team elected to not improve the presentation associated with injuries, specifically in franchise mode? It appears that in this area of opportunity, there were some enhanced immersions that could have been transferred to the user, meaning replayability, Connor, meaning people could play the game longer and more if you gave them an experience that was one of quality. Here is the friggin' response. If you're not seated, seat. Making meaningful updates to simulation-focused features such as injuries are most definitely on the radar. Do you realize that if EA was like a defense system we have, how screwed we would be as a society? Because they've got everything on the radar, but they can't do anything about it. We want to go after as many of these features as we can coming into the year, but to make a meaningful and impactful change for our players, they can take longer to design and implement. So guess what? It's something we really want to get to soon. Do you understand this is a next generation console? They have just showed you and told you, not me, not my opinion, not me being negative. They have told you, number one, we can't get the next gen stats fully implemented on player movement. Number two, we can't get the weather properly done. Let me actually offer something to you. Since they said that the next-gen stats were recorded in every stadium, and one of the biggest issues Madden has is that each game feels the same, why is it, no matter how incomplete the data, there has to be some level of data that would show how fields react to weather in Seattle versus Washington, D.C.? Why could they not have some way of showing how fields change from turf to grass and impacts player movement, from acceleration to running, to movement, to cuts, to jukes? I don't even work on this game, and I know that's something that needs to be done. And here is a guy telling you, we just can't get this done. You've had years to work on this. You've had years to prepare for a next generation console. You have a marketing team that sells us these benefits and features as a reason for your customer to go buy a brand new console to enjoy your game. And this man has the audacity to sit here and tell us, we can't do this. It takes longer than we thought. We can't implement it in time, but it's something we want to do. Well, you know what we want to do, Connor? Let me speak for the community. We want to play a better football game. We want to play a better football game than read all of your excuses each year. We want to spend more time playing a football game than we do giving it a 0.2 user score on Metacritic. Does that sound like something you could accommodate for us or no? Do you need to make some extra time for that? Because that's exactly what's going to happen as you guys continue down this road. Has anyone at EA ever thought to go down, make some time to go down to the marketing department and tell them exactly how little you've actually changed in the game so they can better present your product to the customer so their hopes aren't even more let down when they get another subpar product from you, which many of us already expect? I'm sorry that you guys don't have the time to do anything meaningful or impactful. I'm sorry that it takes longer for you to do your job than you expected. But frankly, these are all things you should have thought about before you went to the NFL and signed an exclusivity agreement to be the only one that could make a simulation football game. And if you're this incapable of doing it, perhaps someone should have made some time to go back to the NFL and say, listen, we signed this agreement, but we can't do it. You have no problem telling us in this article that you can't do it. If you can't create the game, then don't take the agreement. There's no excuse. You're creating excuses. Explain to me why Access Football has somehow managed to create an injury system that not only has varied injuries for players, depending on how long they've played, how much they were hurt, and what type of resource you as a gamer purchase for your team to have to rehabilitate not only the injury, but the chance that they'll be injured. How can they have so many variables in their game? How could they have done that in such short amount of time? Yet EA is saying that they don't have the time to do something meaningful or impactful, that it takes longer to design. EA seemingly wants you to believe that it takes so long for them to do something that they're unwilling to do it because they don't want it to not be in the game right. The next-gen stats absolutely blow me away. I did not even consider that they would have incomplete stats for players. That did not cross my mind. But now them saying that, it makes total sense. I joked that Madden Ultimate Team, which is the golden goose for this company, could not seemingly be impacted by next-gen stats. Right? Barry Sanders' Madden Ultimate Team card is not going to be impacted by next-gen stats. It's impossible. He hasn't played since they've been recording this. So how are they going to change his movement? It never dawned on me that there would be players that were not recorded in these sessions of a game that EA would have incomplete or missing data from. And yet here they are coming out and saying, yeah, that's the case, and not only can we not take this data completely, we can't even extrapolate it to completely go into our game. So how is this going to really meaningfully impact your product, guys? Because it doesn't sound like it is. It doesn't seem like it is. And most importantly, it sounds like EA is all too aware that that's the case. So prepare, EA Sports. Make some time. Make some time to see some meaningful and impactful responses from your community. Because I guarantee you, we will. We're going to have you on our, I'm going to speak in EA terms. We're going to have your game definitely on our radar. And we're going to go after it for the coming years. And to that end, it's something we really want to get rid of soon. Love to know your guys' thoughts on this. Appreciate you checking this out. And you know, beyond the shadow of a doubt, you know, based on Connor's admissions here, it's not a week. It's not a month. It's not a year. I can be back at any given moment to talk about how unbelievably poor this football game was, is, and always will be. In the week, with more commentary.